welcome to a brand new episode of the Hanscast. And this time is the very first episode that actually has a theme tune. So I hope that you enjoyed that, and as usual, I have no idea what to talk about. This might be the most unprepared podcast ever. Seriously, I'm currently standing in a sound booth because see how professional I'm starting to do this. I created a theme tune and now I'm blah, 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 blah. See, this is also what happens if you don't prepare shit. And if English isn't your first language as well. So what I was going to say, see, I prepared a theme tune and I'm even in a sound booth, and see how professional this is going to be, or rather hear how professional this is going to be. Yet I did not prepare anything. I just hit record and I was like, okay, what can I come up with to talk about? But as a natural speaker, I'm quite sure that I can come up with shit to talk about quite easily, even though I'm always pretty nervous that people will come by and be like, what the fuck are you doing here? You are not supposed to be in here. Why are you hijacking our equipment? Well, that's the risk I'm going to take just for your listening entertainment. And I also hope that this sounds pretty lovely on the ears. In case you're wondering, I'm staying inside the sound booth with headphones on my ears, so I can also hear myself speaking, which is kind of weird, but I guess the way professional people do it. Also, I just turned my head from the noise cancelling filter in front of the microphone, so in case the audio quality got shitty for a while, I do apologize. Anyways, let's get to some entertaining parts and fun parts, because I was wondering, what is the point in this podcast anyway? Like, should I keep on doing it or should I not keep on doing it? And basically, I'm a whiny bitch, and I was like, okay, I will use the podcast to whine about stuff. But then I was like, I don't want to bore you with my problems and keep on whining about stuff. Also, you have to be in the mood. Like, you have to be in a whiny mood and be like, okay, I want to be whiny now and I want to keep on whining. And I don't know, it just doesn't feel right and doesn't feel fair to you that you have to listen to my crap. Like, maybe I should get a therapist or go to counseling, as you call it in the US. But no, basically, my idea or my aim was always to like entertain you and make people laugh, and like I said, just be entertaining. But maybe some whiny ass bitch German can also be entertaining in some way. But yeah, I feel quite fine at the moment. Like I don't want to force myself to be whiny and to get whiny, and even though life is incredibly rocky right now, it's like rocky road. And the past weeks and so on have been quite shit. And I feel like, I don't know what to do. And I still have not found a solution. I really do feel like I will never find a solution for this life and I will be trapped in this life. But then I guess just try to make the best out of it. And I would like at this point, I would like to make a shout out to like every one of you listening to this shit, supporting me, liking it. Every comment you guys are writing means a lot. Like, if you guys would not leave comments, be like, hey, I actually like this. I like what you're doing. I wouldn't be standing in the sound booth now and recording this because I'm doing this for you guys. Because I totally appreciate all of you so much. Those, thank you. And now my idea for the podcast. This is where it might get interesting, so I might set a time mark stampy thingy. My idea for the podcast was to just talk about my life, talk about shit that is going on, talk about stuff that might be entertaining. And I hope you get some kicks out of it. And if you don't, then I hope this wasn't too loud. I do apologize if it was. If you do not get your kicks out of it, I should maybe stop doing this. But hey, I hope you do, because I think I do have some entertaining anecdotes in my life. I often feel like that I'm the German Larry David, and I'm like, I don't know why people are like this, but it is what it is. So I'm just thinking about stuff that happened to me recently. There's like this one event that I do attend for some background information, I'm not from the city where I'm living in now, so I just moved here for work. And it's fucking hard to find friends or to find people to connect with if you're an adult. Like, if you go to school with people, people see you every day and they're forced to be in the same room with you and you get to know people. Same about university. If you like studying, you will go to the same courses or same classes and you will also like see people all the time. And you will eventually find like-minded people. I mean, especially if you go to university, like you're all studying sexology. That's not, I'm adding too much words. Sexology? I don't know, I wanted to make a sex joke, but that failed because I suck at English. Well, so you're studying fuckology. No, I shouldn't use ology. Ology? Scientology? Sexology. Maybe there. Yeah. Anyway, the sex joke failed. Anyways, what I wanted to say is that you have some shared interest. Like you both or all of you are studying the same thing, so you're all interested in the same thing. So you will find like-minded people. But if you move to a new city and you don't know fucking anyone, then it's hard to find like-minded people, especially if you're not into sports. Like what everyone suggests to me is like, join a sports club. And I'm like, I don't want to join a sports club. I don't like doing sports. I'm not a sporty person, even though I'm handsome as fuck. And anyone who sees me would be like, oh, he must be an athlete. I have to correct you that I'm not an athlete. So yeah, that is the reality. And I once joined a sports club. Like like all the weird, creepy stalkers can track me down, but I'm living in a city that actually has a river located near it. And then I decided, see what I'm doing, I'm also constantly switching my voice just because I'm weird like that. Or maybe I want to train my voices. So anyway, I live near a river and I joined a canoe club. And I was like, hey, canoe's cool. I like canoeing. Or just going around by boat and so on. Also, this is super taxing on the voice cords, so I'll just switch to my normal voice now. So I went to the canoeing club and everyone was like super fucking old. I mean, nothing against old people. I have way more in common with older people than younger people. For the record, I'm in my 30s something. And that's all I want to say. And in my 30s, I have way more in common with people like in the 40s and the 50s and even the fucking 60s. So like we can talk about the same shit. Like, hey, do you remember this movie from the 80s? Yada, yada. And I don't know. But then when I meet people like who are in their 20s and so on, like, hey, do you know Seinfeld? No, what is Seinfeld? What the fuck is that? I'm like, well, it's even on Netflix. Yeah, no, it sounds old. I don't want to watch it. It's weird. And then I hear like, oh, can you actually hear this? I think you do, because I can. I'm scratching my beard. Weird. Anyway, it's really weird when I'm talking to young people because they don't seem to understand what I'm talking about. And like, there's such a big difference with people just like 10 years younger than me, than people who are like 20 years older than me and so on. So I went to the canoeing club. Anyways, everyone was so fucking old, like 65 and 70 something. And they were nice people and friendly people, but I wouldn't exactly chill with a 70 years old Agnes or whatever granny name I can whatever granny name I can come up with in English. But I think Agnes sounds pretty granny-like to me, or Dolores. Agnes and Dolores at the canoeing club, and they were like, hey, Hans. Hey, Hans, do you want to go canoeing with us? And I was like, of course, Agnes, I would love to do that. Yeah, okay. Can you please push me in the water? I think I'm doing this podcast just for myself. It's like, hey, I don't have voices in my head. I don't have voices in my head, but the moment I try to speak them out and say them, it becomes quite entertaining to me. Jesus fucking Christ, that's embarrassing. What you do not know, the sound booth is actually see-through, so people can see me standing here and people are passing me by and they're giving me weird looks. So yeah, that is quite uncomfortable and embarrassing. And also, Jesus fucking Christ, there's so many people outside. It's really embarrassing. And yeah, also other people can listen into this. So I hope no one does that. Otherwise, hello to everyone who's listening. This is the voice of KWBC, whatever the fuck. You're listening to the greatest tunes of the 80s, the 90s, and beyond. Yeah, anyway. I also hope that this is recording. Like, imagine I'm standing here talking all the time and it isn't recording at all. That would also fucking suck. And I would not record this again. Then I just had a conversation with myself. This happened before. Like, one time I talked a lot and didn't record. And I was like, nah, I can't be asked to record this again. That's also what I used to say a lot, like 25 years ago. I can't be asked to do this. And everyone's like, you're British. I'm like, no, I just like this term. So anyway, back to the story, because I digress and I also digest. But remember, all things digested have a similar hue. So there's this meetup thing, which is just expats or foreign people, because Germans don't need friends. They're not looking for friends. Germans are like, I have my 3 good friends, and that is all I need. I don't need any more friends. I don't know you. You are new. Please leave me alone. So I go to this fauna event because I don't have anything else really to do. And actually, that one time when I wanted to go there, I met up with a friend of mine, and we had like dinner together and so on. And like, I just came back from a vacation, and her and I would talk for like many hours. Like, we were like at a restaurant for like 4 hours and just talk straight. And then I kind of missed the event. Also, see, I met up with a friend. So I do have a friend here, but she never has time, which is unfortunate. Like, I know her for many years now. And this was like the 3rd time she actually had some time. And I'm like, that is not really a lot in a time span of 4 years. But also, once again, she doesn't have German roots. Like, I always hang around with people who aren't German, who aren't fully German, who like the parents are like from some other country, or one of the parents, like, I don't know. Maybe Germans are weird. Maybe I'm weird. Everyone is weird. What is going on? So I showed up to this after the restaurant meetup thingy with a friend of mine. She went home, and I went to this meetup way too late, and everyone was gone, but I didn't know that. So I went into the pub, and there was just like one table occupied by people, and I was like, okay, there's like this Chinese Asian chick sitting there. Also fucking super racist of me that I assumed that she's Chinese. I just noticed that, like, the Asian, which is also funny. I'm not so woke, but I mean, just because she is Asian. Yes, Asian doesn't mean that she's Chinese. So this Asian girl was sitting there, and this Indian girl, and so on. And I was like, okay, this might be the foreign meetup because I see mixed people, not just white Germans. And I approached them in English. It's a bar in Germany, so normally people would talk German in Germany. And I was like, well, hello. Is this the foreign meetup where the foreigners meet up? And the people were like, oh, well, it depends if you speak Chinese. Maybe this is why I assumed that she's Chinese, because people were like, well, it depends if you speak Chinese. And I was just like, ni hao, chi chi. And they were like, what? You speak Chinese? And I was like, okay, well, those are like the 2 words I guess pretty much everyone knows. So dropping a random ni hao isn't really that impressive. But I also, like, when I'm at a restaurant, I'm also like, chichi. And they were like, okay, yeah, that is impressive. And I think then I also said something in Spanish, and they were like, okay, hold on. Where the fuck are you from? And I was like, well, take a random guess. And they were like, okay, do you happen to be from a English-speaking country? And I was like, nope. Well, are you Swedish? And I was like, no. And they're like, well, maybe you're Dutch. And I was like, oh, ik spreek ook Nederlands, maar ik ben niet Dutch. See, I didn't say that because that was wrong. I was like, oh, ik spreek Nederlands, maar ik ben niet Nederlands. And something like that. And they were like, oh, so you can understand us. Because people, like, when you speak Dutch or when you're Dutch, Germans always assume, oh, he's Dutch, he must know German. Like, Germans cannot fathom the thought of Dutchies not knowing German. But I lived in the Netherlands, and I can assure you that many Dutch do not speak German and are not fluent in German. They don't know any German. It is just that Germans go like to the border, like Germany and Netherlands border each other. For the American listeners who don't know anything about world geography, but they will be like, hey, but you don't know American states. And I'm like, well, states are different than countries. And they're like, no, they're actually not. But they are. Really, come on, guys. And so people are like, okay, so you're Dutch, so you're fluent in German. And then I like replied in German, and I was like, yeah, I'm quite fluent in it. And they're like, oh, okay. And then I was like super fluent. And I was like, huh? And I was like, yeah, actually I'm fluent in it because I happen to be German. And everyone was like, what the fuck, mind blown. And everyone bursted out in laughter and was like, okay, you really fooled us. And then it actually turned out it was the birthday of the guy who owns the pub, and like the fauna event was already long over. And it's like, okay, that was like the coolest shit ever. The next drink's on me. And that was the interaction with the crazy people, or like me impressing the people. And then we're like, okay, that's really funny and cool of you. And I was like, okay, I actually wanted to go to this meetup thingy, but now everyone is gone, so I will stick with you for a while. And then, okay, that's cool. But then me and the guy who owned the pub, we went out. He had like a smoke. Actually, weed is legal in Germany nowadays, so he was like out of the pub, rolling a blunt and smoking the spliff, while I was just there standing with my drink I didn't really like and sipping on it. And like, we were out for so long that people inside had already forgotten that I was still there. And then I came back and I was like, oh, what the fuck? He's like, why didn't he fuck off? What the fuck is he doing there? And then I was sitting there and I was like, okay, this is so uncomfortable. But I want to meet new people. But everyone knows each other and they're all talking to each other. I'm just sitting there on a stool, like on a bar stool. Like everyone was sitting on a normal chair, and I was like on this way taller bar stool above them and looking down on them. And that was weird. And so I talked a bit to that. I mean, first of all, I would just listen. I was like, okay, no one is fucking interacting with me. So I don't know. Maybe don't come into groups that know each other as a stranger. It will be weird. And to make a long story short, I tried to talk to the people, and then it was okay. But at some point, I was like, okay, okay, enjoy yourself, goodbye. So that was my failed interaction of making new friends. But I guess I told this anecdote because it's like interesting that I'm quite extroverted and just approach random people and I don't give a fuck. And they were also like, oh, every week there's like a comedy event here, so maybe you should sign up for it. And I'm like, I'm not a stand-up comedian. I'm just a random retard. Oh no, I said retard. You can't say that anymore. Who likes doing voices and different accents and shit. I also, when we're talking about voices, I started to train an Indian accent. And the Indian guy sounds like this. Hello, good sir. Can I use the street as a public toilet? And I like to eat curry and rice. And this is what the Indian guy sounds like. Something like this. Maybe it was a hello, good sir. Hello, good sir. This is what the Indian guy sounds like. I like to order some curry and some rice. But I have to admit that I first start to train those voices in German, like an Indian guy with a German accent, or like an Indian guy speaking German with an Indian accent, and then I try to translate those into English, something like that. It's weird. It's hard, but I'm still worried that it's not recording at all because I can't see this on the screen because I'm standing here all isolated in the sound booth. And I just felt like recording something for you, giving you a theme tune. And if you like the shit that I'm doing, I will record some more stuff for you, just for your own entertainment. And I also just thought about like a long time ago, like for a very long time, I'm thinking about this, just doing some little animations just about my life, like little shit that is going on in my life, that's happening in my life, like doing some drawings or animations and some narration for it, like really tiny clips, like for YouTube Shorts, not on Instagram, because I constantly keep on getting banned on Instagram, and I cannot create a new Instagram account. Like the moment I create an Instagram account, I'm banned. The very first thing, like I enter the name and the password, I'm like create account, and it's banned. So I'm trapped on Instagram, and I do not want to install TikTok. So I guess YouTube Shorts is the only option that I've got left. But I wanted to talk about shit that happened in my life, like the first time someone gave me porn, like the first porn film I ever got or saw. That's way better. See, English, I'm struggling. And also like the one time I met up with, I don't know the political correct term. What do you call a guy that's a woman now? I don't know. I want to say transvestite all the time, but I know that's not correct. Maybe just trans person, a transparent person, I don't know. But yeah, one time I had a date with one of those, and I got fooled or catfished, as you might say nowadays. So those are some funny, interesting anecdotes you can tell in like 30 seconds and so on. And so that might be entertaining because I'm just talking on this account. And what you guys actually don't know, I can draw. I'm actually an artist. I mean, I'm drawing those crappy title cards in Microsoft Paint out of boredom, but I can actually draw. I'm not so bad at it. And that's a skill of mine you haven't witnessed on this account yet. And I'm like, hey, I should make use of it because I like drawing. I always wanted to be a comic book artist. So this is also something you don't know about me. But I feel like telling you about me and my life and so on. And if you find it interesting, I really appreciate it. And with having that, I wish you a wonderful day. Have a great week. Please leave a comment because every comment means a lot to me and makes me keep on doing this shit. And thank you. Auf Wiedersehen.